His Grace Prem Data Prabhuji, and all the other Vaishnavas. And thank you, Prabhuji, for giving me this opportunity to do this service for Guru Maharaj. I don't have any qualification, Prabhuji, but you have trusted me and giving me this service. So I hope that I can speak something which will make a sense for all of you. And if I do anything, if I say something which is not correct, please forgive me, because I'm just a beginner and I'm taking the class for the first time. Seriously, I'm really a little scared also. So Prabhu, if any mistake, if I do, please correct me also. So we'll start with Mangalacharan. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kanamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Jai Pataka Swamin iti namine. Namaha Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradaine Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagar Grama Tarini. Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudeva ki jai. Prabhuji, let me share my screen 1 second. Prabhu, you can confirm if the screen is all visible.
Yes, mataji.
Okay. So here today we are starting with the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, chapter 30. The name of the chapter is Description of the Adverse Fruitive Activities. So the name itself suggests that, this adverse fruitive activities. And in this chapter, Prabhupada, mentions many sinful reactions which a jiva has to suffer. So little frightening. And when I read this also, it was little frightening for me. But with the, we can understand the intention, that the intention is not to fear us, but to make us understand the importance of the urgency, that how important is Krishna consciousness and how urgent it is. And the first, the last session was taken by His Grace Soumya Raghunath Das Prabhuji, and we'll do a quick recap of the chapter. So Prabhuji took chapter number 29, And Prabhuji mentioned the qualities and vision of true devotee and the conduct of a true devotee, how a true devotee is perform duty without material attachment, and how he's always engaged himself or herself in deity worship and devotion with humility and compassion, and association with saintly person and avoids offenses, recognition of Lord everywhere. He sees Lord everywhere in all living beings as Paramatma. He worship without compassion, like a pouring ghee or on ashes. The true devotee never discriminates. He respects all living entities and he sees everybody as Krishna's energy. And the sign of purified consciousness, also Prabhu mentioned that instant attraction to Krishna's name. What are the signs of when we, whenever consciousness is purified, it is instant attraction to Krishna's name and qualities. And then we get free from pride, envy, and possessiveness. And also we are friendly and humble to all the ignorant people also. Krishna is the time and Krishna is the controller. Krishna says that aham kalo asmi. Krishna, time kal is the manifestation of the Lord and he is the origin, he is the sustainer and destroyer of all beings. Understanding this leads to full surrender in bhakti. Then we also did a recap about Srila Prabhupada realization on pure devotion. That there is a beautiful quote: "A pure devotee does not even aspire for liberation or material benefit. He simply wants to engage in favorable devotional service to the Lord. This is real bhakti." So the key message is devotional service is goal, not liberation, and real bhakti is unmotivated and uninterrupted. Bhakta sees Krishna in everything and everywhere. That was the recap from the last chapter. And today's session is dedicated to His Holiness Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada mentions about material entanglement because this chapter is all based on material entanglement only, and how when we are materially so much attached, how we are not able to, how we suffer. This is about the chapter is. So Srila Prabhupada emphasized that material sense gratification is the trap that keeps individuals entangled in the cycle of birth and death, leading to suffering. He explained that the desire for sense gratification driven by the material energy, which is Maya, obscures one's true identity as a servant of Krishna and perpetuates a life of illusion. True happiness, according to Prabhupada, is found not in satisfying the senses, but in purifying them and engaging them in the service of the Supreme Lord. We always know how Prabhupada says, used a word called dovetail. So how we cannot deny our senses, but we can, dovetail to them to Krishna Bhakti and to serve Krishna. And I'm very with this. I have offered my obeisances to Guru Maharaj and seek blessings of my Guru Maharaj and blessings so that whatever I speak, it's not a mere speaking only. I'm able to bring this in my life also, and we are able to use do pure devotional service, and I seek humble blessings from my Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj ki jai. Coming to the chapter, the path of adverse fruitive activities. In this profound chapter, Lord Kapila Dev he's an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's lovingly instructing his mother, Devahuti, and he reveals that intricate laws of karma and inevitable fate of the soul entangled in materialistic fruitive activities. This knowledge, imparted with great compassion, aims to guide us towards liberation from suffering. So Kapil Dev is giving this knowledge to Mother Devahuti, and he's telling us how because of our karma we are getting these results, and how we can get liberation when if we want to go back home to Godhead. What is the way we can what are the things which we can do so that we can, if we want to avoid the sufferings, what we can do. So the chapter is, as I mentioned before, as Prabhupada ji has mentioned, that material entanglement. So we are trying to cover it into 3 points: tied by desires, reactions to karma, and the cycle of suffering. This tied by desires, the living entities driven by insatiable material desires become bound by the reactions of actions performed by the sense gratification. We all are trying to satisfy our sense. That is the main problem. And when we we do certain karmas, Srila Prabhupada emphasized that these desires are the root cause of our repeated suffering. So if we are able to, get rid of the desires, then our sufferings will also be vanished. Reactions to karma. Every action, whether pious or impious, if we do sukarma and akarma, vikarma, so not akarma, so if we do sukarma or any bad karma, but it will yield a reaction. This chapter elaborates on the severe consequences faced by those engaged in sinful deeds, neglecting spiritual principles and well-being of others. The cycle of suffering. Lord Kapila Dev explains how soul, through their action, are forced to transmigrate through various species and planetary systems, experiences different kind of miseries according to the accumulated karma. So what is the soul's anguish and hope? So what is the problem? The problem of all the problem is the spiritual forgetfulness, because we forget that we are part and parcel of Krishna. There is a beautiful bhajan by Bhakti Vinod Bhakti Vinod Thakur ji, that is Bhuliya Tomhara. This is Bhuliya Tomhare Sansare Asiya पाया नाना विध व्यथा तुम्हारे चरण आसिया छे आमी बोलिबो तुम दुखेर katha. So the Jiva is saying that because oh Lord, I forgot you, and because of forgetting you, I have fallen into this material world, and now I am totally in the problem, and I have come to you only. I have no one to tell my problem, my story. So I have come to you only, and I am telling you all this, and please give me your shelter. So the spiritual forgetfulness is the suffering. The greatest suffering for the soul is the forgetfulness to the eternal of our relationship, which is with the Supreme Lord. This ignorance keeps us, trapped in the material world, and we are unaware of the true source of the happiness, which is Lord Krishna. Material entanglement. The chapter vividly describes how attachment to family, wealth, and temporary enjoyments tightens the bond of material existence and leading to endless cycles of birth, death, old age, and diseases. And how we can, if we take the path of devotion, how we can get rid of these problems. Despite the grim description of adverse fruitive activities, the underlying message is one of hope. Kapil Dev's instructions ultimately lead to understanding the necessity and potency of devotional service as the only way. So Kapil Dev says that devotional service is the only way. So whenever we get an opportunity to do any service, we should not miss it. Be it association of devotees, be it doing service, any service, we should not think even twice, and that is because that is the only way which can make us go back to Godhead. So Srila Prabhupada's insight, this is the purpose. Prabhupada says the purpose of describing this hellish condition is not to frighten anyone, but to impress upon the urgency of engaging in devotional service while we still have the human form of life. Because once exams are over, then results are coming, then we cannot do anything. Now we are in this human form of life. So if we want, now we have the time, and we can we can follow the instructions of Prabhupada, and then we can save ourselves from the suffering. So why Srila Prabhupada talks about suffering is because he's as a compassionate warning about Srila Prabhupada, out of deep compassion he's talking. He's describing the suffering of material life, not to frighten us, but to awaken us. His purpose is like that of a loving teacher who reminds a student about the importance of exam, not to cause anxiety, but to inspire preparation and focus. Just as a student who has no exam and no concern about the results may not seriously study unless he has a inner drive for true knowledge. So a soul wandering in the material world also may not seek the shelter of Krishna unless it recognizes the futility of and suffering of material existence. So these warnings are not negative, and these are deeply positive actually, and they are meant to encourage self reflection, and they help us to understand the temporary nature of material pleasures, and they lovingly guide us to take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. And that is not this is actually not fear mongering. It's like waking someone from a dangerous dream. So, starting from the chapter one, actually the chapter is very wide, and I was not able to understand what to cover and what to not to. So, if I miss some important point, I will suggest everybody to read the chapter once, because that will make us understand a lot of things, and it'll make us understand the importance of human life. So first chapter, first I'm taking this chapter is the critical importance of time and human life. So, second. So Chanakya Pandit says that even one moment of time cannot be brought back, even if someone offers $1 million. Somebody on the bed of death can say that, can say to the physician that, please give me some moments more, or some months more, or some year more. But that is actually not possible, because time is more precious than money. So we should always have, we should not waste our time, and whatever time we have now, we have to spend to for devotional service, so that we can go back home. So this is the chapter one, shloka number one. Kapil Deva is saying, Tasya tasya jano nuyam nayam vederu vikramam kalyamano api balino vayo rivaghanavali. He says that time is irreversible. Even billion of dollars, you cannot buy it back. So we should spend our time in a very positive way, and that the most positive way is to do devotional service and bhakti of pure bhakti of our Lord Krishna. Despite that certainly that in certainty that all material possessions will be taken by time. We all of us are always trying to accumulate some wealth and trying to earn money, but we all know that either it will be go with death, or somebody will take us, or it will go with death. But foolishly we all strive for all these acquisitions, and this is called misuse of human life, because we are not spending our time in Krishna consciousness, and we are spending more time in accumulating this wealth. So human life is meant for self realization. Why we are accumulating this wealth? Because we want to we want sense gratification. So the point is that human life is not meant for self realization, but it is meant for self realization. It is not meant for sense gratification. Rather than, if because there is a benefit if we do materially also. If you can see, if a student is using a time, is not wasting time and engaging its time in a in a positive way, he's studying, he will score very well, and then he'll be able to he'll not have no tension. I heard in one of the lecture that, why should one be materially prosperous? Because, if we have some, if we are able to study well, if the students are able to study well, and then they are able to earn well, then they will be relaxed. They will not, while chanting, they will not have stress of, how will I do, where the bills will come from, and how will I pay my rents, and how will I sustain my life? Because then we are able to earn well, and then we will be able to chant very peacefully. if we are materially doing well. So if we are able to, for students also, if we are able to, if we just waste our time and then not study, then we will not be able to grow materially also. So time is very important, and one should not waste it. And spiritually also, if we, how we used to spend, I remember how I used to spend my time on WhatsApp and any other, social things only. But how now, with the blessings of, Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Maharaj, His Grace, Premdata Chaitanya Das Prabhuji, Rigesh Prabhuji, these families only, they brought us to Krishna consciousness. And they only taught us, they only showed us this way. Otherwise, we were just wasting our time, and simply we were doing all these activities without which doesn't make any sense for us. But if we take, if we give importance to time, then it is very easy to manage our things, and take out our time for bhakti and other material things also in a very positive way. The second chapter is, is about illusion of material happiness, Maya's spell. So verses number 4 to 8 covers that every soul, even in abominable bodies like hogs, feels satisfied. This is due to illusion. So it's, when we are so much into material entanglement, and then we are trying to spend all our time in getting, acquiring material possessions. And then what happens that, then, what, because of the Maya, we feel that very satisfied that this is, whatever we are doing is absolutely fine. We are very happy that what we are doing is fine, and there is no problem. Like, there is a story of Indra, who becomes a hog. And because he got a curse, and he becomes a hog. And then he forgets his real identity, and when Narada Muni comes to see what Indra is doing, he's very happily enjoying the stool. And he's trying to remind him that, this is not your real position, you come back. But he's saying that I'm enjoying, he's not bothered. So he's Indra is he's very high position. Think about us, we don't have any position. We are uh, we are completely fallen. And then what we should be, our consciousness, we should think that way. The attachment to the family, body and wealth makes us a person believe falsely that we are happy and we are very secure. But the real freedom is going back to Godhead only. So this leads to, grihmedi life, grihmedi. And instead of, in we all are grihastha. So we have Krishna as the center, and we are doing all the activities keeping Krishna in center. But this when we are too much into material entanglement, then we are grihmedi, we are not a grihastha. If we have materialistic family life, and it's like a voluntary imprisonment. So Grehmedi is attached to family life without spiritual purpose. So we should all, we are Grihastha, and we should also always have that Krishna is in the center, and all activities which we do for the pleasure of Krishna only, and to satisfy with the Supreme Lord Krishna. And then verses 6 to 14, it says that what is the deep family attachment and false prestige. It talks about, conditioned souls find that identity in positions. We don't understand our real identity, but we find that our identity is in our position and family and relationships. Our relation identity is not, it's keep changing. When we are young, we are, and we know, some everybody knows as a daughter of someone or son of someone. When we got married, then wife of this or husband of this. Later on, if we own a company, and then it's like, owner of this company. But this identity keeps on changing, they are not permanent. But the real identity is that we are part and parcel of Krishna, and that is the real identity. And we have to identify that, and always remember that identity as the main identity. So a man works hard even sinfully. So when a man is trying to acquire material possessions, he will do many sinful activities to support his family, and he will eat suffering. And he thinks that I'm doing this for my family, but he has to do suffer all alone only. So there is a Bengali proverb which is said by Prabhupada: "The person I stole for calls me a thief." We keep earning and acquiring material possession for our family, but when we grow old, the same family will blame us that we are we have not given say we are not able to give all the comforts to the family. And this is how the same family for which we have spent the entire life will only not respect us, and they are only calling us thief. So when we become old and unproductive, then nobody likes us. Then people is he's treated like a worn out ox. And then also after understanding that we have earned throughout our life and spend all our time in collecting these material possessions and trying to comfort our family, but now also our family is not happy with us, but still we are not able to leave the attachment, and this is due to Maya and our karmas. So according to Vedic injunctions, one should leave family and live. After 50 years, we should dedicate our life to complete spirituality. But that practice starts from the very beginning, because suddenly at 50 you cannot take Krishna consciousness, and you have to practice it from the very beginning, from the day one. So next 14 to 18 verses tells us about the old age, disease, and death. So a man becomes a neglected invalid at the end of life, and he's disrespected even by the loved ones. Those who love him, those he thinks that they are loving him, they are also respecting him at the end of his life, because the body is becoming useless. He clings to then also he's not able to get rid of the attachment, and he will cling to family life like a dog. Dog doesn't leave the house, no, whatever happens. Even on the deathbed, he worries about his family, and he will ask doctors to prolong his life so that I can support my family little more. My family needs me little more. Please give me some more time. This is kind of request he is making to the physician. Still unable to surrender, but still we are not understanding that we have to understand, surrender to Krishna. And we have forgotten our real because we have forgotten our real identity. If we remember, our Prabhupada mentions that identity crisis is the main problem. If we remember our real identity, that we are part and parcel of Krishna, we have to go back to Krishna only. We have to please him in, we have to do only the activities which are pleasing for Krishna consciousness. Then we may not come to this situation only. We have seen examples of many devotees, how peacefully and how beautifully they left their body, and they all had a desire that we are they had a complete desire, and they have a complete faith that we are going back to Krishna only. So death is not a problem for them, not a suffering for them. Death is the kind of going back to Krishna. Krishna is waiting for us to embrace us. So what is the problem? In next 19 to 24 chapter, Prabhupada ji here talks about death and frightening transitions. That how this is a very fearful chapter, and these points, these verses especially, we must read it once, because not to make us fearful, but to make us understand that how precious is our life, and how if we waste it, then we are not going any good. So you can see here at the death, Yamduta will appear with terrifying eyes. In fear, the man passes stool and urine, and they bind us. They will bind Yamduta will bind us, our settled body, and drag us across a terrifying, scorching path to Yamraj's court. And the jiva is bitten by dogs, whipped and tormented, yet remains alive to suffer fully, because subtle body he cannot live. Material body, when we are suffering, there is a limit to suffering also. But in the subtle body, there is no limit, and we will suffer so much. And then through though materially fast travel seems impossible, then when we are walking in this path, and then Yamduta is taking us, we have to go at a very, very high pace. And this, they cover the speed of this much high speed, you can see. And it is very difficult for Jiva to walk in such a speed, but Yamduta will make us, make Jiva run in this at this high speed, because because of the sufferings we will, because of our sins, we will have these kind of sufferings. So this chapter is like, we can see the pictures of how Yamduta is Yamaraj is coming and trying to take away the life from the body. Then next 25 to 29 shlokas, there talks about the hellish punishments after take our subtle body is taken. Then how this punishments happens. The sinner is burned alive, and then sinner eats his own flesh. There are many people who eats non-vegetarian, so they are so much engrossed in eating non-veg. So because of that, they are how it feels that when you are eating a flesh, now in the full consciousness, when you know the what is the problem of eating the flesh, then also when you're doing sin, then you realize that what are the bad karmas the jiva did. Then the jiva realize it, and it's devoured by the beast and torn by elephants. Indulgence in illicit sex, violence, and greed leads to specific hellish regions like Tamishra, Andhatamishra, and Raurava. So these are the names of the hells which a jiva has to go if he's not into Krishna consciousness, and if he's not taken the path of bhakti, and he has kept himself into material entanglement and sense gratification only. So we should always think of that how a jiva, how we can spend rest of our life in Krishna consciousness, and doing devotional service, so that we are able to go back to Krishna, where Vaikuntha, Golok Vrindavan, where Krishna is waiting for us. So these descriptions are actually, they are not metaphorical, but they are real, and they serve as the powerful warning. Because when warning is given, then we are okay. When we are going on a road, when you see a warning that there's a deep turn ahead, or there is a any other warning which is there, so then we are careful. So this is to make us careful that how we can live our life, if our goal is going back to Godhead. Next verses 30 to 34, they talk about the consequences about for the materialist after death. One second. So having gone through all the miserable hellish conditions, and having passed in regular orders through the lowest form of animal life prior to human birth, and having thus being purged to his sins, one is born again as a human being on his earth. So the person will go alone to earth, and he will, whatever material possessions and whatever achievements, or whatever education or degrees, or whatever our identity we have created on this in this material life, will be here only. And we will not be able to take even a single penny with us, whilst other will enjoy our wealth, whatever is earned by the people, others will enjoy, but he alone bear the suffering of sinful reaction. So even in hell, he will regret his attachment, but then it will be too late. So the time, that this is the time when Prabhupada says that we can understand that how important is time, and how we can, what is the way, because all Vaishnavas, our Guru Maharaj has shows us the way already, that how we can go back to Godhead, and he's calling us, he's showing us the path. But it is our duty to take that path and follow him. So actually Prabhupada says that we are all always busy in sense gratification, which is the real problem, which is problem of all problem is sense gratification and material entanglement. So we think that we are master, but we are not the master. It's straight that Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam. So we have to serve Rishikesha. We have to, who is Rishikesha? Who is the controller of senses, is master of senses. So we have to serve him. Bhakti or devotional service means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord. And Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of is the master of all the senses. When the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme, there are two sides effects. There are two side effects. One is freed from the material designations, and the one's senses are purified simply by being employed in the service of the Lord. The ultimate purpose is not to build a comfortable home, but to return home back to Godhead. Material enjoyment ends in lamentation. Real intelligence means using the human life for Krishna consciousness before it is too late. It is a very loving reminder from our Guru, Srila Prabhupada, and he's constantly reminding us that we have to, we should not think that we are master. We, everybody thinks that we are master, be it at home, be it in the office or anywhere. We have this tendency to boss, and this because of this tendency of lording over nature, and then we have fallen into this material earth, a material world, and we became envious of Krishna. We are into this. We came into all this, and that is how we came to this material world. And now, if we want to go back, the only way is that we will lament that whatever is problem, what we lament now, and we, rather than lamenting later before it is too late, we can understand that we have to take this process now only. So I'll just conclude this chapter. I think I was very fast, and I have already come to the conclusion. The key takeaway points which I could take away from this chapter is that this is into three parts. That what is the cause of all suffering? Srila Prabhupada repeatedly stressed that suffering is due to forgetfulness of Krishna. We have forgotten the Lord, and we have come to this material world. We have forgotten Krishna, and we have got into material entanglement and sense gratification, and because of that only we are suffering. And so we should not waste this last chance, this not last chance, I'll say, this second chance which is given to us. And we have forgotten the real. Prabhupada mentions that real problem is forgetting our identity, our constitutional position. We all believe, in India and in many places of the country, and in the world, people believe in Lord, Bhagwan, that Supreme Lord is there, but we don't understand the constitutional position. What is his position and what is our position? We know Krishna is there, but how great is Krishna? We don't understand that, and we always, think we forget our position, and that we are the servant of Krishna. We are here to serve Krishna only, not satisfy our senses. So if this is the cause of all the sufferings, actually, basically. So if we are forgetting Krishna and we are into material entanglement and we are doing sense gratification, then this is the problem. This is the root cause of all the problem. Then if what we can do to get rid of these problems is to serve Krishna, and we should avoid sense gratification, and we should take up to the process of bhakti. And real freedom lies in surrender only. So we know this last shloka, not last shloka, of last chapter of Bhagavad Gita: Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarvam papebhyo mokshishyami ma shucha. Bhagwan says that, I will, don't fear. So this chapter, which is making us so fearful, Krishna is saying, don't fear, because I am there to take you back to me. You have to just surrender to me with, abandon all your religions and come to me. Human life is meant to revive our lost relationship with with Krishna, and this we can, do devotional service, chanting, and service to Krishna, and then that is the only way to go back to Godhead. And next is the prayers, gratitude, and complete surrender. So many times we see that we are trying to do bhakti, and but so many obstructions will be there, and so many problems will come, even if we are trying our best. This happens with all of us, and especially with, I'll talk about me. So what is the way we what is the way, what is the hope for Jiva? The prayers, gratitude, and complete surrender is the only way. If we are humble and pray to Vaishnavas, all the Vaishnavas, because the Vaishnavas are very merciful, and because of their causeless mercy only, we are able to, progress in our devotional life, in our devotional service, and whatever service we are getting is because of the mercy of Vaishnava only. So we can learn to be very humble, and we should have gratitude that whosoever has connected to Krishna consciousness, be our Shiksha Guru, and our Diksha Guru, and Srila Prabhupada, and all the other devotees who are supporting us, and connecting us to Krishna. We should have we should have gratitude for them. And ultimately, we should have complete surrender that whatever happening in my life, whatever problems are coming, whatever good things or bad things are coming in my life, that it's because of Krishna's wish only. And if good things are happening, that is Hari Ichha, and good Hari Kripa. And if bad things are happening, that is the Ichha of Hari. He wants it that maybe that those problems are going to purify us. So when we are taking the causeless mercy of our Guru, that is only, our Guru only can take us back home, and where Krishna is waiting for us to embrace us. So if we have that vision in our mind, if there is a goal, if we are playing a match of football and there is a clear goal post in front of us, we should have a clear goal that we have to go back to Krishna, and Krishna is waiting there for us, and he's waiting for us more eagerly than we are waiting for meet him. Now we are totally, we are in Maya. We are not able to understand that that Krishna is waiting for us so eagerly, but Krishna is waiting. Krishna is so eager to meet us. So if we have that clarity in our mind that Krishna is waiting for us, and we have to go back to him only, and whatever actions we are doing, we have to do keeping in mind that which are favorable for Krishna consciousness. So these are the only thing which will take us back to home. So summary and reflection here, that we have explored the profound teachings of Lord Kapila Dev from Srimad Bhagavatam. This journey has illuminated the intricate path of karma and liberation power of uh, devotional service. So karma's grip, understanding that how material desires and actions bind the soul in the cycle of suffering, and recognizing that the consequences of adverse activities and the potential for spiritual upliftment, and embrace and it is sure that embracing pure devotional service as the ultimate antidote to what is the only solace is that when we are doing devotional service, then definitely we will get rid of material entanglement with the blessings of Vaishnavas. We will be able to get rid of our problems of sense gratification and material entanglement, and then we will be able to take up pure Krishna bhakti. So we have come to the end of the slide. I'm sure I have taken very less time because of my limited ability to make you understand things and explain the things. So I humbly request all of you to pray for me. And if I have made any mistakes during the, this taking up this chapter, please forgive me, and please correct me so that I'm able to take some points from this chapter, and please pray for me that whatever I have read in this chapter and presented to all of us. It's not just a mere reading, but I'm able to bring this to my life, and I'm able to take this in practical way also, because many things I just do. I will talk not about because there are so many pure Vaishnavas in the group, and they all are doing taking up Krishna consciousness for the because they know the essence and they know everything, but I I don't have any ability, and my mood is just to pray to them and seek blessings from them. If I did any mistake, please forgive me, and please pray for me so that we are able to practically take this preaching in our life also. With this, I will conclude the chapter, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So very, as these teachings are very profound, is all these chapters are very, very, relatable. Starting from how the devotional service, is important is, and there are at least 2-3 chapters dedicated to that. And now Lord Kapila is warning us about our material attachments, and these are I feel even after being in Krishna consciousness for so many years, it's so difficult to being rastas specifically. It is so difficult to take out our material desires. So, and Lord Kapila is very, very, and I think another 2 chapters are like that, where he is giving us the cycle of this, how the material attachment can cause us the problem. So, thank you, Mataji. You wonderfully explained a lot of Prabhupada's points. You covered that, Prabhupada purports are actually ultimately the essence of, sometimes I'm not sure, because there are so many people outside who read Srimad Bhagavatam, just shloka and translations. And I really sometimes wonder that, without Prabhupada's purport, how can we practice this in our, because Prabhupada explains this so methodically and so practically that, I really like the statement which you read there, that we are not, I'm not exact word, but we are not supposed to make home here, but go back to Godhead. So that was very,
Do not be
very
comfortable
striking.
here.
We just become so much attached to our homes. So very nice, Mataji. So I think important thing in our life, which we can take from what Satyabhama Mataji is saying is through this chapter, is that we have to dovetail all our desires, material desires, to Krishna. And, then only we will be able to, if we let our senses wander all around, then it will be very, very challenging. So one thing which we learned only after coming to Krishna consciousness, coming to ISKCON, and thanks to Prabhupada, because outside the definition of bhakti is totally different from what we understand. Now what the scriptures are saying. Sarvopadir vinirmuktam tatparitvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti uchyate. Outside bhakti's definition is, as we saw in our houses, our families, definition of bhakti is simple. Oh, okay, just go to temple, pray 2 minutes, or in house you show some agarbatti, and then expect Lord to take care of all my material desires. And if he is not doing that, then he is not God. That's what our understanding has been before coming to Krishna consciousness, that it is a relation. It's a relation with the Supreme Lord, which we can establish. And it's such an easy process, so nicely we can engage ourselves in our senses in service of the Lord, just by chanting, by hearing, by reading, by physically doing services. Now Janmashtami is coming. I know many of you are very nicely engaged in arranging the festival for the benefit of people in general. So it is, these are the ways where we can, that's how we can engage our senses, our mind in the service of the Lord. And we can avoid, our senses going here, there, and, because so many in today's world is so difficult. And I think earlier ages, when I say, means just a generation before or a two generation before. I don't think there was so many deviations were there. Now phone we have all the time, internet is there. Just you are YouTube, you click lecture but side, so many things will come, and many times you get tempted, okay, let me hear this, which which may not be devotional. So we get very easily, we get distracted. It is so in today's world it's very difficult to have our senses in control. So controlling senses is not possible, only engaging senses is possible, as Mataji was explaining. So very nice, Mataji. It was very instructive in the sense that this is the thing which we have to focus. I can talk about myself that in spite of so many years in bhakti, still we struggle with this aspect of engaging our senses. Thank you so much. Anybody has any questions for Mataji, or anybody would like to comment?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Wonderful class, Mataji. You have covered very our topics, which we are also sometime not fulfilling. The time management was really very good. You were telling about children. I think we also are out of that many time. That is only struggling for sometime for sadhana, or so that is very important. And yes, Prabhuji has told, where we on the phone and we are hearing lecture in the side pop up. One thing is there, whenever we on the phone, what we have to do, we forget and we are doing something else. That also comes. So really, and Prabhuji also has mentioned so beautifully, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy only, whenever I open the book and we are reading the shlokas, that time also, in the middle of the shloka, Prabhupada will be telling, see, reading is important, you should read regularly. See, devotional service is important, you should do it. So he is also reminding that, and by your lecture also, this is very good, Saturday, no, it is like channelizing ourselves for the whole week. Sunday also is there, but Saturday also, when we get the readings, yes, we get this motivation that we have to read Bhagavatam. So thank you so much to Prabhuji that we are having this group together and doing this. And thank you so much, Mataji, for such a wonderful lecture. It was like you as a mother, you are explaining all children's like, see, should be there, see, this should be there. So that was very good. Thank you, Mataji. Thank
Mataji,
you.
all glories to Srila Prabhupada, who is giving us all the instructions. I'm just a medium to say this. Otherwise, I don't have ability to say and give any instructions to anyone. But only because of Srila Prabhupada's blessings only, and Prabhupada's instruction, what he has left in form of books, we are able to say something which is useful to all of us. Thank you, Mataji.
I think Shireka Mataji has raised the hand. I think Mataji, you want to say something, or you have a question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, Mataji, you took the class very well. It was straight from the heart and we could all relate to it. But I have this doubt, Mataji, we behave in a certain manner. When we behave in a certain manner, people say it's the conditioning of the soul. That's why we are used to the material pleasures. But if the soul has gone through so much of suffering in, different hellish planets, how is it that we don't remember that when we come back to this material world, and why do we repeat those patterns?
Because Mataji, I was also not very clear on this point, but when I was just reflecting that because of Maya, because Prabhu Mataji, it's not possible for us to remember everything. I think Premlata Prabhuji has mentioned many times that if we remember everything, then the life will be so chaos. So we know some examples of how people are able to remember something, but they are in such confused state of mind. So it is good only if we are not able to remember that, and this is because of Maya only, that which is covering us. But I think more clarity can be given by His Grace Prem Datta Chaitanya Das Prabhuji. But according to my understanding, Maya is covering us and forgetting us everything. And whatever sinful activities we have done in past, we will get the results when when we will do the suffering. Then also when we come back, then also we'll have the same problem. This beautiful bhajan which I was saying by bhuliya tomhare sansare asiya paya nana nividi vyatha. So when the jiva is in the womb of mother, he's praying to the Lord that please take me out to this take me out. I am this eternal dark, and the how the child is in the womb, we know all. But we are the jiva is child is praying continuously. And but the moment he's coming out, then he's covered by Maya, because inside the womb there is no Maya, so he's praying. But once he comes out, then Maya is all covering him. And then he forgets that now all the parents started loving him. All then when he grows old, he goes to school and he's getting affection, and he's busy playing. And then later on he goes he's started earning money, and he thinks himself as the boss, and he goes ahead. The life comes like that only. He completely forgets Krishna. And then at the time of death again, the flashback comes, and he thinks that, oh, whole life I have spent like this, and now again the same situation. Now the fear comes, and he's praying to Lord that now what will be my gati. So when we read this Vaishnava, now maybe, I don't know, maybe, we forget, but Prabhupada has given us this opportunity. And all this Vaishnava bhajan are also giving us this opportunity that, okay, we may not have done sins, or we may have done sins, but definitely we have done some sins. That is why we have come to this material earth, material world. So we can understand that, okay, because of our karmas only, some karmas, bad karmas, what exactly bad karma we did. I think rather than focusing on that, we can focus on the solution, that something we have done wrong. That's why we are in this material world. So what we can do now is to take shelter and to take up the process of devotional service. Mataji, I don't know if this makes sense for you, but Premdata Prabhuji can say more on this, maybe, Mataji.
Mataji, you nicely explained. I will just add one or two points, but everything was perfect. So one thing, one incident which I recently saw in the news, we know that Ahmedabad plane crash has happened, right? So in that everybody died except one passenger. I hope all of you know that passenger, somehow he fell down from the plane and he escaped. I was reading in the news that, that guy every night he shouts and he gets up, and so much traumatic this thing he has, and that he's not able to sleep properly. This news was there in some time back in the newspapers and media. So no, I was just, when that news was coming, I was just relating it to how traumatic it would be for us if we remember our previous lives and our previous this thing. We have gone through births after birth, so many sufferings. We all have some gone through this thing. So one way, when this thing was happening, I was just thinking actually it's a mercy of the Lord, that Lord is not making us remember our all the sufferings which we have gone through, but those impressions remain. So when you're saying it is the conditioning of the soul, it is actually, soul is pure, though it is conditioning is about our subtle mind, specifically mind, intelligence and ego, because with the soul, mind, intelligence and ego, they go from one body to another body. And that's why those impressions remain us, because sometimes some people have the phobia, certain phobias are there, right? Some people is scared. I have one of my nephew, he's so much scared of water. If he goes anything into water, then he is he gets, even if now he is adult, he cannot enter into river or sea or swimming pool or like that. So how does these phobias are come? They are coming from our, because this life nothing has happened, but previous lives. So some people are very much scared of crowd. Some people are very much scared of darkness, and so those Krishna mercifully keeps those impressions within our subtle body to make us realize that this is a place of suffering. So, and other aspect to this, when we analyze this, is that if Krishna very easily, if he gives us that, okay, it is something like sometimes you see in newspapers, especially when we tell to our children, See that rickshaw wala son has cleared the UPSC, and that street vendor's son is becoming engineer in IIT. So so kids make fun of us. But what happens is, because I'm just relating to, it's not about every children in our community, but sometimes that because sometimes we give them children so easily the things that they don't struggle. But how these people, they are difficult. They don't have anything in their life, so then they struggle to endeavor something in their life. For rich man's son, Anil Ambani or whatever Mukesh Ambani's son doesn't have to do any endeavor. For them, it's like they are born with the silver spoon. So if Krishna will give us some everything in this thing, so then we'll not endeavor it. We will not this thing. So Krishna mercifully gives the small doses so that we know. But mercifully, he also gives us the spiritual opportunities in our lives every now and then. Actually, people who are atheists, people who are non-believers, even Krishna goes to them and give the opportunity. There was an incident sometime just 2 days back. No, somebody entered into his restaurant and with the chicken and all that, and then that person has offered. Of course, after so much hangama happened, he did purposely, but after so much hangama happened, then that person apologized. Oh, I didn't realize that it is such a serious thing. So the thing is that even he is getting opportunity to understand that what is a spiritual life. So, and all of us in our life in some form or other, maybe because of our conditioning, we may not realize it, we may not accept it at that point of time. We go to so many people outside, we are doing preaching, but very few people accept it because because of this conditioning. Because if they are just like that given, they will not appreciate it, because sometimes we have to struggle to get it. So the point here is that why Krishna is helping as a mercy. He's not letting us all the trauma, giving all the trauma of our previous lives, but at the same time mercifully he is giving us opportunity also, time and again, to accept that whatever spiritual opportunities, when they can come in our life. So I'm not sure if this answers your question, Mataji.
No, it does. It does. Thanks, Prabhuji, and thanks, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. So, Arup Prabhu,
There's one
I'm
more
not
question,
sure.
Prabhu, actually
Yes,
from
yes.
Anup Das
Prabhu has
Prabhu.
typed in the, let me read. Prabhu is saying he is not able to open his mic. I have a question that, as Mataji explained, we should have love and compassion for all. I'm very new to Krishna Wellness movement, and I'm also very immature. Sometimes my friend asked why we left non-veg suddenly, and when I explained why I left those practices, they make fun of me, start saying things that plants also have. What should I do to them? Should I stay just silent? Mother, you want to answer that question?
Prabhu, you are the best one to answer. Best person. You can
No,
answer.
because there was, in your session, it was there that who is eating non-veg.
Yes, Prabhu. So, Prabhu,
So,
yes, Prabhu, you can answer this thing, Prabhu.
So, Arup Prabhu, thank you for asking this. I know you are just maybe not even a month old in Krishna Wellness. You are still attending all the sessions, and you are coming every day for reading session, as well as you're attending all these programs. So thank you so much for being so enthusiastic in Krishna Wellness. I see. First, I will answer the last question part, that shall I answer or not answer. It all depends on how much open the people are to accept it. Because if they are, not ready, then you keep saying every time you try to explain, they will have some reason or other to, counter it by saying, "Oh no, that is not required. This is not required." Yes, yeah, the point is very valid, that animals have consciousness, plants also have consciousness, and it is in the scriptures. It is mentioned very clearly. If you read Prabhupada books, many places he touch bases this point, that even plants have consciousness, and that's why in third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains that anybody who is taking any food which is not even offered to Krishna is simply eating sin. So even if anybody who is just vegetarian, he may get less sins, because what scriptures explain is that based on the level of consciousness, we cause damage to the living entities. what you say, we get the sinful reactions accordingly. So if a person, if a living entity who is whose consciousness is more advanced, that's why even in the material world, we see that if you are killing any other human, you know, so you get punished for that, because humans have the highest. This is, I'm talking about the material law. Of course, material law should even for cruelty to animals, there are many laws where you are cruel to the animals, you get punished for that. You know, you are tormenting, like there are some videos, they come there, somebody tormenting dogs, cats, and all that, and then police catches them. But unfortunately, nobody is seeing what is happening in the factories and how the animals are getting killed, you know, for sense enjoyment. So anybody who is killing any other living entity based on the consciousness of the living entity, there is a reaction. So you are very, whatever your friends is saying, in one way they are right as well, because even plants have life, and when we are using them for our sense gratification, then it is there. We are also getting sense. But other aspect to that is that because their consciousness is a very, very in a what do you say, in a lower stage, or whatever, very consciousness is very low. So in that case, the reaction is least among the all the whatever animals or living entities we are killing. So what we should do is that, you know, even if we are eating plants, actually we are eating sense. There is no doubt about it. The level of this thing may be low. So that's why the scriptures give us the Bhagavad Gita directly. Krishna is saying that, you know, anybody who is eating the food without offered. So that's why what we do is we offered it to Krishna. We have discussed this many times in our various sessions, and if you want, maybe we can discuss one-on-one for you if you want. That there are different kinds of karmas are there. So activities which are as per scriptures, activities which are against the scriptures, and activities which are done for the Supreme Lord. So those activities which are done for the Supreme Lord does not cause us any reaction. So what we do is that we offer the food to, even if it's a vegetarian food, we offer it to Krishna, and so that food does not get us any reaction. So that's how we are, trying to avoid the sins by which, even if we are using plants for our own sense gratification. And since we cook the prasadam, so prasadam is called bhoga first. So it goes to the Lord, and it is offered to the Lord, and Lord then honors it, and we are partaking it. So then in that case, we don't have any reaction we get from that. So this is the answer in short, but there are many aspects to this issue. Maybe we can discuss offline. Sometime you can call any one of us, and maybe we can discuss more in detail. Rohini Mataji has...
One of the example, Prabhu, one of the lecture I heard
sure.
this point, Prabhuji, that, you know, if we, like those who are saying that non-vegetarian is, oh, it's okay to eat, but when your relative or somebody dies, then you don't eat their meat. No, that is also the flesh, but we don't eat that because of the consciousness, no, and we say that okay, that is also non-vegetarian only, but I just heard in one of the lecture, maybe if we think that way, we may get really detached to this. And also Radhesham Prabhuji, like in one of the lecture explains the sanctioned, sanctified, and regulated. So there are three kind of food. One is sanctioned, is if we are eating vegetarian food, that is sanctioned. Then sanctified when we offer it to the Lord, and then regulated if we are like not overeating. So these 3 points also maybe help us to understand, Prabhuji, these points.
I don't know if Rohini Mataji want to add anything to this point, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Sure. Please go ahead.
First of all, very nice class, Mataji, and very nice explanation about the slokas. Yeah, Prabhuji. Actually, I want to add to this point. Even some of our kids' father asked me, like, why we are not supposed to eat. And then Bhagavatam, I think, first canto, Prabhu, can you hear me? Mataji, can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji, we can hear you.
Yes, Mataji.
Some disturbance was coming. So Bhagavatam says, like, every living entity has to depend on other living entity. Jivo Jivasya Jivan. So ahastani sahasan, like those who are devoid of hands are pray for those who have hands, and those devoid of legs are pray for the four-legged. The weak are the subsistence of the strong, and the general rule holds that one living being is food for another. So in this universe, like everybody has to eat something. So one living being is a food for like another being. Like small fish is a food for the big fish, and human beings are supposed to sustain on fruits, vegetables, milk, and all these things. And like tigers and like meat eater animals has to depend on the leaf eating animals, and like leaf eating animals have to depend on the trees like which have no legs like that. So this is a structure in the universe. And that's the one point I wanted to add, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So if anybody else has a point, because this is Arup Prabhu is very new to Krishna awareness. If anybody wants to add anything to this point, because this is one of the important aspect of starting of our. Most of us are following it, so for us it may be easy. But since Arup Prabhu is new, anybody else want to add any point which can help him to take this decision or handle this decision? Nowadays, taking decision is not difficult, but handling the decision by others is they will others will, oh, why?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. One material reply I found which works most of the times, because so one thing is that if we uh, if we easily lose that debate, then people think that Krishna consciousness people are simply sentimental, they are blind believers, right? So one material logic which easily defeats this point is that if you really like plants, then you should stop eating non-veg, because if you eat non-veg, you end up eating 10 times more plants, because to feed that cow, which probably you ate, it requires 10 times more rice or whatever grains, grass that you could have fed using just 1 kg of rice, right? So actually, the actual calculations are also there on the internet. So cultivating non-veg, basically having these animal farms are the greatest threat to our environment, because it consumes, I think the calculation is somewhere around 1,000 liters of water for 1 kg of meat.
Yes.
And some 25, I don't know, some tons of um, grains for one basically fully grown beef, right? So if they really care about plants, then they should, first thing they should do is stop eating meat.
Yes, nice point. Another thing is from the spiritual aspect, as Satyabhama Mataji was telling, that even Tulsidas says that Daya Dharam ka mool hai, Papa mool abhiman. So the foundation of dharma is compassion. So we cannot be for our this is from the spiritual aspect. Of course, to materialistic people, it's a little difficult to explain this point. But unless and until we are compassion, our heart is full of compassion for other living entities. Because I remember Rohini Mataji had covered that chapter where various qualities of devotees were covered. So in that, it was like there was sadhu bhushana. In that, first thing was compassion. So if we want to make spiritual progress, our heart should be very, very pure, very, very soft. Then only. So if we want Krishna to come and sit in our heart, then our heart should be a very pleasant place to come. That's why we say Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya. These things are being told that we need to clean these anarthas to make progress spiritually. So until and unless we have these, this thing, these anarthas within our heart, then it's very difficult to make spiritual progress. So if anybody who is thinking as spiritually, oh, okay, I can enjoy as well, and we'll also by killing animals and all that. But and I'll also do worship to the God, and it doesn't work that way, because it's a purification. Now we know the bhakti definition in various chapters we are discussing here in by Kapil Dev, Lord Kapilas, that what is the definition of bhakti. So definition of bhakti is purifying our senses, purifying our heart, purifying our mind, and that is only best possible if we have compassion for other living entities. Otherwise it is not, it's not easy to make progress spiritual. So Balaji Prabhu has shared some, Aru Prabhu, you can, I don't know, he has shared some links how, so maybe you can copy paste this link and, you can.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji have mentioned very nice points in this. Plus, we have like a very good, I remember when we start in this, we courses are there, no? DYS and all that. JSD. So in that also we mentioned like what's scientific, what is the structure of body and all, what we should eat. In that is also there. Plus, Prabhu, many people say like we also eat plant, but we are not finishing the plant. We just take the fruits and vegetables. They are just killing that person. Nothing can come from that. It's just over. So that also thing is there. Most people say like that, but we are not cutting the full apple tree, full mango tree. Yes, again it won't happen. It just finished. It will fruit again.
Correct.
So
yes. Very nice
that
point.
one. Yeah. Hare.
Okay, anything else? Okay, any other question or comments before we close?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I have a question. So after the soul leaves the body, so the Yamadutas takes the subtle body. So how does a subtle body will go through the pain, Prabhu? Subtle body, right?
Yes.
So does the person gets another body to go through that in that journey?
So Mataji, Satyabhama Mataji, you want to answer?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhu, subtle body is given to us because, in subtle body we can, it will not die and we will be able to bear the, we will be able to feel all the pain. So that is why subtle body is given to us. Is that your question, Mataji?
No, Mataji. Actually, subtle body has no body, physical body. So actually, I read in another chapter that, they will, once the soul goes to the Yamaloka, they'll get particular body to go through that pain. So even that during this journey to go to Yamaloka also, the subtle body gets another body to go through that pain. And how does a subtle body feel the pain? Subtle body is mind, intelligence, ego, right?
Yes.
So
So Mataji, temporarily a body is given to us so that we can feel the pain. That is what I understood from all the classes and discourses which I have taken. So a subtle body will get another body where we can experience the pain temporarily till we get rid of all our karmas. That body will be there, but that will not die like the material body.
yes,
And
Mataji.
able
But
to
during the journey only the soul gets, or after going to Yamaloka?
that Prabhu, that Vrindata Prabhuji will clarify, Mataji.
I am not sure about it. I think it is Yatna Shari is there all the time. It is given, and that Shari. So, but I'm not sure about this exact technicality that if he gets in Yam Loka or he gets before the body, soul, that Yatna, that's called Yatna Shari. So that body is again, it is a subtle body only. In the sense, it is not a physical body, like of course, because the soul is
Right.
and so it is called Yatana Sharir, and it's meant only to give Yatana,
Right.
the pain, and it has to go through, like we read that fifth canto, I think 25th chapter or something like that. It's so scary. I don't know when that chapter will come. I think today was just a trailer. Then fifth chapter we should read the 25th chapter of fifth canto. There it is. In detail, it is here. We are burned in the fire, and we are for every sin, what kind of sin we do and what kind of reaction. And of course, Bhagavatam is very merciful that it gives only a glimpse, unlike Garud Puran and all that we read. There it is given in more detail. But to answer your question, yes, Yatna Sharir is given. but I'm not really sure if the journey to Yamloka also it is immediately given, or I doubt it is given, but maybe we should clarify with some senior.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam, sabhi ko.
Yes,
Prabhuji,
yes.
I have also heard about it in Garuda Purana, what Mataji is asking, that in those 13 days after death, this Yatna Sharir or pind is given. Like we give that pind of flour, made of flour to the body after death, and that pind is for 1 year till the journey of Pretatma converting into Pitratma is completed. Then this pind is given to the body. It is mentioned in Garuda Puran, Prabhuji.
Yeah, and pind is a kind of food we give it to them so that they can survive for till
1 year. It is given to
1
the
year.
body.
This journey is 1 year.
Atma, that Atma which is going out of that body is getting that pind that is given by their children through Tarpan and through whatever it is called Pindadan. So,
And pain is always felt in the subtle body, right? So it is whatever pain is we go through, even in material work. So, we do the operation. So what we do is we give anesthesia. So, the connection from the body to the mind is disconnected. And so ultimately the pain is felt in the mind, so we have the subtle body to go through all the pain, because mind and, it is the pain which the subtle Yatna Sharir is going through. And this body is not dying. The thing is, the pain means in material world, if we go through pain, at one stage we'll die and over. After that, no pain can be inflicted in us. But that's not the case with this Yatna Sharir, this pain, whatever. Even if you are fried in the oil, after this, the body remains intact, but you are feeling the pain, all that. So to be honest, I don't go through all those things very much in detail, because the first thing is I get scared. Second thing is that, thing is that I have the hope that, we being devotional service, whatever level we are doing, I'm sure, that's what Prabhupada say, that, maybe, hopefully, we'll not go through all those pains. Hopefully, we are not doing the sinful activities, along with our devotional service. So then our chances of going through is there. I remember when I first time read this chapter, 5th Canto, 25th, and I spoke to Shivas Prabhu about that, Prabhu is so scary. How shall we understand this? We have to go through all this. Then Prabhu said, you are a devotee. Nothing will happen to you. You don't worry. So it's a hope for us that, all of us, the idea is that, and that's why we read Garud Puran when somebody dies, that maybe people get scared of, hearing all that. Nowadays, the traditions are going. I remember when my grandfather, my grandmother, they expired, so that point of time there, one Pandit used to come and he will read Garud Puran, and everybody in the home will be hearing that. So idea is that, okay, you should understand that this is, we have to go through the sinful activities. But unfortunately, with the time, all these traditions are going away, and, people are simply just finish up some rituals and without even, of course, there was no change that time also, because people were hearing all these Garud Puran, and, after the next day again, they're into all those sinful activities. But our idea of mentioning this, as Satyabhama Mataji was saying, is not to scare. The idea is to understand that this is the reality, and if we are doing sinful activities, we may have to go through. So better we, surrender to the Lord and perform our devotional service seriously, so that we don't have to go through all this, pains. And as Prabhupada is saying, that we all have to go back to home, back to Godhead. So just to answer your question, Rohini Mataji, I don't have that exact detail, to be honest. But yes, I can only say that, yes, Yatna Sharir is there. And being a devotee, we are hopeful that we don't go through all this.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. I would like to add some points here.
Yes,
I've heard
Mataji.
in some classes from Dwarka somewhere where that Prabhuji mentioned that, see, once a person dies, we do this 13 days rituals, right? So during that rituals, each and every day, we keep the food for the soul, we go and keep. Through that, one part of the body they start getting. So by the 13th day they get the body, and that is why it is said that 13th day the soul moves out of the house.
Starts the journey. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
13 days starts.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I'm able to link to that. I think there is some, yes, you are right, I think. So when we give the food, that's the idea of 13 days giving food, that, that, yeah, maybe that's a Yatna Sharir only, which is built up, and then the 13th day journey starts. Correct. Okay. So maybe with this we'll end. It is already 7:45, so let's not delay it further. And we'll meet again next week. Soumya Prabhu, you have anything to add?
Nothing, Prabhu. I think wonderful session by Mataji. Just wanted to add one point for Arup Prabhu especially. I know it is very late, but probably in a minute I'll try to wrap up. Probably it will be helpful for other devotees also. So I think this point I heard it from Harikshetra Prabhu very, very long back, probably 10 years back, but still it is etched in my mind, and I try to tell it to many, many devotees. So what Prabhu told was like when someone takes up to dharma, so the general public initially they would make fun. That is very normal. Like it, Prabhu was telling that if you take up to dharma, it doesn't mean that the other person would respect you, like your family members, your friends, especially because they know us day in, day out. They have seen us for years together. They know our habits. So they would really make fun of us. So that's what Prabhu mentioned. And the second stage would be like when you still continue to do that dharma, then they'll feel astonished. Like they'll be astonished, like, oh, we are making fun of him. We are trying to pull his legs. No, we are going out. We are together eating meat, but he's not, he's still resisting. So he's continuing. So that is the second stage where they get astonished. And the third stage is they feel respected towards us. Like, no, after all this no environment thing, but we are still continuing with these things. And then the fourth step Prabhu mentioned was they would have a lot of faith in us, and they would start taking advices from us, like know what is right for them to do in their life. So Prabhu mentioned that these are the four stages that each and every person has to go through with everyone, whomever you know in your life. So there is nothing like, no, the day we pick up Krishna consciousness, someone would respect that or understand that. So I think if we understand that this is practicality, then I think it would help us stay in the path, thinking that okay, one day the other person would respect or probably understand. So with that faith also, we can actually be very strong on the path what we have chosen. So anyway, so I think this is especially for Arup Prabhu. I think other devotees would
No,
get.
I fully I can relate to it, Prabhu. Very, very nicely you told that, initial days are always challenging because all the people around, they will just ridicule you and they will make fun of you. And I have shared this many times in our sessions also, that in our initially in our office, when I started following Krishna consciousness, then I stopped. Anyway, non-veg I never used to take, but onion, garlic, and then initially I was made fun by all our colleagues. And I remember there used to be a Friday, there they used to celebrate the birthday, and they used to get the egg cake, of course, cake as egg. So I stopped taking that. And, initially people used to, kya yaar, tumhare to ye nakre hain, tumhara to ye hai, like that, they will make fun. But I was surprised that after some time, just for me, they started getting the eggless cake. And when the eggless cake came, there was so many people who started coming and taking that. There used to be 1/2 kg separate and whatever 2-3 kg separate, and that they used to initially they announced this is for Puneet only. So they thought that okay, I'm the. But when they started having that cake, a lot of people started coming and having that eggless cake, saying that yeah, we also don't want to take, but it was the option was not there. We really appreciate that you are doing. We also so like that slowly, though both the cakes became equal size. So the point is that, yes, initially we all have gone through this, that, the resistance from our near dear ones, they will make fun. And if we are consistently, because it's a conviction for ourselves. If we are convinced that, if we can convince others, is fine. If they are not getting convinced, is fine. But as Swami Prabhu very nicely explained the different stages, so after some time, people appreciate that, oh yeah, you are right. But we are not. In my colleagues, they used to say, you are doing nice things, but unfortunately we can't do, but we appreciate you are doing it. And I know one of my closest friend, he was a Telugu friend, and he used to have non-veg. So he invited me to his house. So we were hesitant, but we thought, okay, let's, for the sake of friendship, we'll go. And we saw that he has nicely arranged that without onion garlic food for us. So people appreciated after some point of time, that yes, they are doing the principle. A person who is strong in his principles, at certain stage after that, people respect them. So that's a wonderful explanation, Soumya Prabhu. Nice. So Soumya Prabhu will close.
Yes, Prabhu, I think it is too late. So thank you
Prabhu,
everyone
do you
for
want to announce about the train tickets, Prabhu? Train tickets
train tickets. Yes. Okay. So I
that
think
we have to book on
let
time,
me
like
stop
8
the
o'clock.
recording.